y'all. Welcome back. So it's been a minute. So let's just get into how spring break was. So you can start first.
Spring break, I really didn't do much. I just got back into the mindset that I needed to be to prepare me for this semester. I'm feeling good though.
Word. I went overseas. I went to Paris, and it was an eye opener, very nice. I'm happy that I was blessed to be able to enjoy an experience like that because I'm from the hood, so I can't get it any other way.
Yeah.
So let's just hop right into these current events with the I Boom segment. So recently, this past week, Nipsey Hussle died. And Nipsey Hussle died due to gun violence. And according to police, on March 31st, Hussle was shot multiple times in the parking lot of his store, Marathon Clothing, in South Los Angeles. Hussle was hit 5 times in the torso and once in the head. Hussle was transported into a hospital where he was later pronounced dead. He was only 33 years old. Police has identified 29-year-old Eric Holder as a suspect, and he has since been charged with murder.
Upon hearing the news, numerous celebrities offered their condolences on social media.
Let's read some tweets to get into that. So Rihanna wrote, "This doesn't make any sense. My spirit is broken. My spirit is shaken by this. Dear God, may his spirit rest in peace, and may you grant divine comfort to all his loved ones." The singer wrote, "I'm so sorry that this happened to you."
Rapper Meek Mill wrote, "Broke me. We really fighting for our lives against our own kind and really have to take risks and match the level of hatred that we are born in. I'm tired. Prayers for my brother and his family."
Drake also commented and wrote, "My energy is just at a low right now after hearing this." Drake wrote in the caption also that we just linked for the first time in years, and he said that we said that we was going to do a song this summer because it's been so long.
Laura London also broke her silence. She wrote, "I'm completely lost. I've lost my best friend, my sanctuary, my protector, my soul. I'm lost without you. We are lost without you, babe. I have no words."
Yeah, and like when I seen her post this, it was a collection of their baby together and also like really couple photos, and they looked like they was really in love, so I can know that her heart is shattered. And I see you making the face over there. So please tell me your unpopular opinion about this situation.
So obviously, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, but black men are dying every day, and I feel like just because Nipsey Hussle had this celebrity status, people cared. What about these other young black men that are being shot left and right every day that get no recognition, that get no rest in peace? So,
I have to challenge you on that though, because a lot of black people get recognized for the crimes that they do. Of course, they don't. It's not so much light on it when it's a black on black crime, but like we have here a lot of black men die being, unarmed and stuff like that. And people really felt this because like it was so sudden and he was so good and he didn't deserve to die. So it's just like it shocked us. It's like the Biggie of our generation, I feel like.
I agree, but well, I don't. But
I
we
know.
gotta keep it pushing, girl.
I know. So let's switch gears and talk about the #1 movie right now, which is Us. And if you haven't seen it yet, this is a spoiler alert.
Firstly, I just want to commend Jordan Peele for his representation of a black family on the main screen. Not only did Jordan Peele cast black actors as the main characters in his movie, but it's not your typical light-skinned, biracial black people, but instead unquestionably black people, such as the Lupita Nyong'o. Like, I love her, and the fact that we got that representation was great. This was huge for the black community. However, I heard a lot of people say that this movie was overhyped. I disagree. I don't think the hype was centered around the premise of the movie, but more so the fact that it was a black cast as the main characters of this movie.
Yeah, and just in case you don't know what Us is about, it's a story of an upper middle class black family who goes on vacation and suddenly finds themselves warranted with evil doppelgangers. Doppelgangers. I'm always messing this word up. Of mysterious origins. It's Peele's second film following the critical box office success of Get Out, which won Peele an Academy Award for the Best Original Screenplay. Us now has the largest weekend for the original horror movie, surpassing A Quiet Place, and as well as the biggest launch for the original R-rated film behind Ted. The movie pulled off a debut generating $70 million from over 3,000 North American locations. So I want to get into the hidden messages that was behind this. So you want to start it up?
It was about like not letting your your characters or your characteristics be your demise. So the young son, he was always playing with a lighter, and his doppelganger, his whole face was burned off, and the doppelganger ended up dying in fire. So it was more so, don't let your actions be your downfall.
I like that too, and I agree. But I also thought about like the hidden messages as far as race. So I feel like the doppelgangers was like people under, and like the humans was like the people over us, and yeah. So let's get into the next topic, and
let's talk about this Black excellence train moving. Like, let's talk about how Beyonce is having a documentary on Netflix.
Yes. So over the weekend, via a very cryptic message through Twitter, Netflix announced that Beyonce's now iconic Coachella performance will be coming to a streaming service on April 17th.
The tweet didn't include any footage or any further details, but a trailer for Homecoming, a film by Beyonce. It will have candid footage and interviews detailing the preparation and powerful intent behind her vision. The movie traces the emotional road from creative concept to cultural movement.
Yes, Beyonce's epic 2018 Coachella performance will be the subject of the Netflix documentary. It was the first time a Black woman headlined Coachella in its festival's history, and we even got blessed with a Destiny Child reunion, so I was here for it.
So Beyonce is another celebrity that often gets written off as overhyped.
I agree.
I want to make something very clear. There is nothing wrong with being hyped or excited about celebrating Black culture. This is exactly what Beyonce did. Her Coachella performance, the entire thing was a celebration of Black culture. Even from the name of her documentary, Homecoming alludes to the events held by HBCUs. Beyonce is iconic for so many reasons. Her talent, that's one of them. And her commitment for the Black community is another reason why she's so iconic.
I mean, yes, I agree with that. Like, I'm here for the whole Netflix documentary. As a person, though, I do believe that she's overhyped. I mean, that's just my unpopular opinion. But let's keep it moving on. Let's go with the Amber Rose topic. So she's pregnant.
Yeah, so the model Amber Rose announced on Wednesday that she's expecting another baby with her boyfriend, and the couple is so excited.
Yeah, she wrote on Instagram that she's going to have a Libra, and it's going to be a boy. And she's having complications right now, so hopefully she gets through it and have a healthy pregnancy.
But congratulations to Amber Rose and AR.
Yes, and now we're going to get into a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more tea for y'all. So we're going to get into our next segment called Let's Talk About It. And basically, we're going to talk about the male versus female sexuality and how does it look like through the lens of like society. So you want to take it away?
Yeah, many people think that women are not as sexually liberated as men. Men are praised and even encouraged for their sexual activity, but women are shamed and deemed unwanted and promiscuous. Why do you think that is, Casey?
I think that is because of how we are raised in our household. I feel like from early, your mom is raising you on how to be a good wife and how to be ladylike. Like, it's always make sure you close your legs, or don't, make sure you can't have too many bodies, because then you are labeled as like a hoe or labeled as just a thought. And it's just like, it's just so unfair, because the guys is labeled as like the animals and the predators. So it's like, it's valid for them to do it, but for us, we have to lay back and not be out here having our fun too. Like, no, that's a dub. Like,
and it's also cultural. I see that female sexuality is especially looked down upon in women of color, at least, from what I've witnessed. Women of color are likelier to get bashment for promiscuous behavior than a white woman. Not to get into a history lesson, but this stems from the Jezebel stereotype, which labeled Black women as being hypersexual, during times of slavery and such. It was often used then, and is still used today.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I can even think of a time where, like, I wanted to wear shorts, and my dad was like, where you think you're going with those shorts on? Like, and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, there's people out here with shorts. And he was
it's
like,
hot.
Well, right. And then he's like, well, with you and your body type, you're too
right,
thick.
it's always with your body.
And it's just so annoying. Like, no, I want to be out here. I'm hot. I'm not going to sit here and cover up because I'm a little wider than most. I'm a little thicker than most. No, I feel like it should be equal. If if white females can be out here showing it off and having their titties out and everything like that, I feel like it should be no difference. Like, I hate the difference. It's so annoying. Yeah.
So the next topic of conversation is the angry black women. Michelle Obama, Serena Williams, Oprah Winfrey. All three women are very influential, and something they all have in common is that they have been labeled as an angry black woman.
Yes, Michelle Obama was the first labeled as an angry black woman while President Obama was running for his first presidency. Michelle Obama claims that many of those allegations are rooted in fear because they came from the mouths of people who don't actually know her. This is even spilling into our inner communities. Us as black women, we can never express how we feel without being labeled as angry, ghetto, or loud. This gives off a notion that that's all we have to offer and we aren't allowed to show emotion. But where's that same energy for the white woman, you know, so.
This stereotype as an angry black woman is one that I've been battling with my entire life. As an educated, passionate, and outspoken black woman, this often gets misconstrued as anger. I've had encounters where I was disagreeing with, you know, a white female counterpart, and I was perceived as the aggressor for no reason when the opposite was true, actually. The stereotype of the angry black woman is one rooted in fear, like former First Lady Michelle Obama said, but it's also rooted in racism. All of today's topics in this show have, you know, followed the theme of recognizing the progress that black people have made, but it also highlights some areas where there still is progress to be made.
Yes, I agree with you 110%. So, like, I feel like for some reason, I don't know why we're labeled as that. I don't, like, I really be trying to understand, like, why do we have to be labeled? Is it because, like, we're just naturally, like, we kind of command the room, I feel like? As black women, I feel like we kind of command the room off rip. And I feel like it kind of gets, like, we kind of intimidating. And it's like, go ahead, what you have to say.
When you're a strong person, maybe a lot of us are like, we don't show emotion. We often have to play a strong front.
Yes.
So that can also, that's intimidating sometimes to others. I've often been told that I'm unapproachable, but that's not the case. Maybe you're just afraid to approach me, but you can easily walk up to me and have a conversation and get to some understanding.
That's a fact. Like, I never had the issue, but I have had friends that had the issue, and they feel like they can't even talk because they feel like they don't want to come off as a certain way. They don't want to come off as like I'm always angry and stuff like that. So I definitely understand where this is coming from, and this is like a real serious topic.
Let's get right into this next segment.
So this is our advice segment where we basically have a few questions that we have listed, and we talk about them. So we're gonna get into it. Got my lucky little phone here. Okay, so the first question we have is, what are 3 skills and or characteristics that every relationship should possess?
I'm gonna let you start this one off, Casey.
All right, so I feel like the 3, would be communication, respect, and loyalty. So I like communication because I feel like there's always miscommunication in a relationship, and like I feel like we're 2 different people at the end of the day. So what I would like or what you wouldn't like is just like it will just clash, you know. So I feel like and if I'm mad or he's mad, that has to be addressed. We can't be out here throwing temper tantrums, like no. Respect, definitely. I feel like in any relationship, as far as friendship or whatever, definitely have to have respect on both ends. And what was the other one I said? Loyalty, because we can't have that cheating out here because it just ain't right. Like
So ditto on the communication, ditto on the respect, but also with loyalty comes trust. You have to trust that I'm gonna be out here being faithful. You can't be insecure about what I might be doing, because then the relationship isn't gonna work.
That's a fact. It's really hard. Trust is such a hard thing to build, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's like, it's hard to put your all into something when you don't know exactly what they're doing behind closed doors. Like, the person could be the greatest to you in front of them, and then, like, behind closed doors, they're a whole different person. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard to do trust, but, you know, you just have to have faith. The second question we have is, how long is too long to hold an issue that you have with your spouse/significant other?
That's a tough one. I don't think it's more so of a time limit, but if you feel like it's really severely impacting your relationship, then you guys have to talk about it. Don't hold on to that issue and keep it bottled inside, because We're not mind readers. We can't read your mind.
Yes. See, I have that same issue. Like with me and my man, like he wants this space. Like he wants this space. Like give me a minute, like a few minutes or an hour, whatever. Then we can come back and talk. But I'd be like, no, we're gonna talk about this right now because I'm not about to have this bottled in my head for a whole hour or whatever. No, like we gotta get it together and we gotta communicate now because we are not children. So that's how I feel. Then we have a little bonus question as well as, when confronting your significant other, is it appropriate to bring up the past when talking about a current issue?
Only if the past has to do with what's going on in the present.
Yes.
Don't go bringing up old stuff and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
Literally. That's exactly how I feel. Like, I hate when you bring up a past situation and it's like, what's the correlation? Like, you feel like it's a correlation, but it's not a correlation. And it's just like so annoying because like it puts you into the past. Like literally it puts you in that mindset like about all the past things that happened. And then that's another argument, you know what I'm saying? So definitely scrap the past unless it's definitely on the current issue. The next question is, once the trust is broken, can it ever be mended? Name 2 or 3 ways that it could be mended if possible.
Well, it can't. So there you have it. If you broke my trust, that's it. You're a snake. For whatever reason, I don't trust you. How can I learn to trust you again? I'm always going to be questioning your intentions.
I get that. I feel like I disagree, though. I do think trust can definitely be built. Like, you could break the trust, but I don't think that it cannot be built up again. Because if you really think about it, if you get into a whole nother relationship, you have to learn how to build that trust because you don't really know him from a hole in the world. You have to build up that trust. So I feel like if you're comfortable with this person that you're already with, I feel like you can learn how to build up that trust with that same person.
But there's a difference between building trust and rebuilding trust. That's a completely different category on its own.
I feel you. But I feel like if you really love somebody, you stick it out and you really, you try to make it work. Granted, of course, the trust is broken, but if the person puts their all and puts some work into it, it can get fixed with some tape, some glue, some crazy glue, some Gorilla Glue, all of that. Like, it can get fixed. I'm telling you, it could be repaired and even probably look better than the first time.
I'm stingy with my second chances.
I know you are. I'm so nice. I give out 2, 3, 4 chances, but it's clipped. No more giving out too many chances. So the next question is, online dating, threat or blessing?
Oh, man. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Like, it's so convenient that you can just swipe left, swipe right. But then it's also like catfishing. You don't really know what you're getting yourself into. I gotta be careful.
With me, I feel like it's a threat. Because I'm an old school type of girl, like I want to meet you in the bar, in a party, or wherever outside, walking my dog, I want to meet you in the old fashioned way. I feel like this new technology wave, it ain't in unless you just looking to hook up. In my honest opinion, like everybody that I know that's on, I only know one person that got a relationship from Tinder. Everybody else uses that just as a way to have sex. And that's not my style. I don't go out and just have sex. So it's like, go ahead.
What's the difference between when you meet someone in person and you're texting them versus when you meet someone on an app and you're texting them and you're getting to know each other? How's that different? I
get you, but I feel like when you go out for online dating, you're literally going out to hook. Tell me from your personal perspective, do you ever go onto an online dating app to look for a relationship?
No.
Do you ever look on there just to look for friends?
No.
Exactly my point. And the last question is, gender roles, agree or disagree with them? I feel like it's like I'm in between. Like, I do think that there's some things that guys should do, and I also think that there's things that girls should do as well. Like, I know for a fact, like, if we have a house together and the garbage is getting full and it's too heavy, I'm gonna be like, babe, can you go get that? Like, even, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the guy's job, to get the hefty lifting things. Like, and as a return, I'll cook you a nice little meal, whatever. I scratch your back, you scratch my back type of thing. Like, I want it to be equal. Like, and then sometimes I can help you with the guy gender role of things. And then sometimes it'll be nice if you cook me a nice little hot plate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just in the middle.
This must be why I'm single. I don't agree with any of this nonsense. I don't know. Like, I could cook you a meal from time to time, but you gonna cook me a meal? Like,
that's what I'm saying. I want it to be equal.
I'm unorthodox, I think. I don't really agree with most gender roles.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like they should be equal then? You do feel like?
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm not paying for the
exactly.
dinner.
I was about to say
dinner.
so like that's what I'm saying. Like
but
sometimes you have to pay.
Is like men have too many expectations of women. First of all, if I ain't got a ring on it, you already expecting too much from me.
I don't agree with that. Put a ring on a thing, then you get everything you want. You have to work up to get the ring. Like you expect not to do nothing and sit on your butt for the whole time and think you're gonna get a ring. No, you have to show it. You got to put in that work to think, okay, this is wife material. You could be my wife type of thing. That's how I feel. And the same thing with a guy. Like he has to put in work to be like, all right, I will accept you as my husband. Disagree?
I got so much to say, and there's not enough time, so I'm gonna just keep my lips
talk
sealed.
About our final thoughts about, some of the topics that we have talked about. So I think a really good one to do is Nipsey Hussle, because we clearly had a debate about that.
Yeah.
So you felt like Black people die every day and they don't get the recognition, but Nipsey Hussle gets the recognition just because he's a prominent figure.
Absolutely.
Correct? I disagree, because Nipsey I feel like he's like a legend of this generation, and his time was way too soon.
A legend?
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
They say that about Biggie and Tupac, and they only had a career for like a year or 2 years. Like, no.
I can't even speak on Biggie and Tupac because I was just being born.
But that's what I'm saying.
Just being thought of. I can't really speak on that. What I can say about Nipsey, people wasn't really talking about Nipsey until he died.
I feel like people wasn't talking about Nipsey until he died, because I know people that was talking about Nipsey. I know people that's his favorite rapper.
Nipsey.
I wasn't jacking him.
Right.
I didn't listen to him on an everyday basis.
You was never jacking him, so why are you doing it now?
I'm not even jacking him now. I'm just saying what happened to him was effed up. What happened to him was super effed up. I'm not jacking him.
To tons of Black men every day is effed up.
It is, but no one's taking that away. We're just saying at this moment, what happened to Nipsey was grimy. And let's get into this Kodak Black situation, because he's grimy as well. So what?
Now he was doing too much. He said what? He gonna take Lauren London?
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna give Lauren London a year, and then like I'm gonna get her, like kind of like insinuating like I have her after she mourns and stuff like that. And he got basically blackballed. Like he got stuff taken off his museums and like stuff taken off the radios and stuff like that. But go ahead and say what you was gonna say.
He's a little bit too overconfident now. Like you're not even that attractive of a man.
With his nappy
you
hair.
Being disrespectful. All right now, because my 4C.
You're not nappy though. He's like, he don't touch his stuff.
All right, Kodak Black need to take a break though.
Yeah. So that's it for our show.